And the winner is... Arctic Monkeys!
That subscriber content, eh? That subscriber content, it just won't go away.
It might hibernate from time to time and sink back into the swamp. I think the cyclical nature of the universe in which it exists demands it adheres to some of its rules.
But it's always waiting there, just around the corner, ready to make its way into your ears and smash through the gated payment system, sounding better than ever.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Benefits such as getting ad-free episodes a week early with pre- and post-show chat relating to the monkeys, last Shadow Puppets episodes, bonus podcasts, watch-alongs, plus helping us improve our sound with better equipment and services.
Yeah, this podcast seems like it's fading away sometimes, but with subscribers, it will never die. Thank you very much for listening. We do truly appreciate it. Don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah, we'll invoice you for the subscription if we need to.
We're Arctic Monkeys. This is Don't Believe the Hype.
That rock and roll, eh? Ladies! That sound means it's the end of the round. Time for the bonus question. Cheers, dude. That man just yawned. We're gonna call it
Don't Believe the Hype.
Hello, you, and welcome to Don't Believe the Hype, the weekly podcast that's pulling back the foreskin of the Arctic Monkeys discography and rooting around for the filth that. Can you tell I've not wrote an intro this week? Does that show?
Yeah, it does a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, every week we are here discussing a song from the discography of what the appointed by us band of a generation, Arctic Monkeys. We are
Falls in love and he has no time to write stuff for us anymore, listeners. Can you believe it? Unbelievable.
I'm not fallen in love yet, mate. I fell in love when you got in touch and asked if I wanted to do an Arctic Monkeys podcast. Dan. That was when I fell in love.
You just wanted to do you no good. Is that what it is?
Won't go that far, but we'll see. Yes, every week we cover a song from the back catalogue of Arctic Monkeys. We have absolutely earlier this year we finished flying through the Whatever People Say I'm Era and the associated B-sides. We are very close to having done the same with the Favourite Worst Nightmare era. It's well and truly B-side time now. And joining me, Nick Lee, the mirror's image tells him it's home time. Well, it's not home time, Dan. We've got a full hour of podcasting to do. Get your podcasting hat on. It's Dan Holt. Hello, Dan.
Hello. How are you?
Come back an intro and gold like that comes out.
Yeah. You seem quite manic, to be honest.
It's been a long week.
Unlike this song. I'm good. I'm very excited in the song because it always. So we're doing the bakery to get it out there straight away. But we're not that you didn't.
They out there straight away, much like they do with the fresh bread in a bakery.
They do, yeah. Got to get it before it goes.
You don't want it staying in the back, smelling nice and all warm, do you? You want it out on the shelf so people can feel so people can squeeze it and then decide not to buy it and ruin it for everyone else.
Giving up bread and pastry, so I just realised this isn't a good one for me to be. Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear this, mate.
I think 2 weeks now.
I'm more sorry about that than if you'd come on here and told me you had some like hideous terminal wasting disease.
I mean, not forever, just to see if we can do it. But be a bit healthier by cutting out bread and pastry for the unforeseeable future. And it's been
my admiration for you just keeps going.
Well, 2 weeks strong, 2 weeks tomorrow, and so plan meals without the bread. It's hard.
Yeah.
That's why last week before we met for drinking, I popped to McDonald's for something, and I got to the screen and I went, I can't have bread, so I had to get the.
My options have been reduced.
The options were nuggets, really. So there you go. Because I was going to get the selects, and I realised there were breadcrumbs, and I didn't know what the rules were, so I just went for nuggets.
And the shit in comparison to the nuggets. Let's face it.
The shit in comparison to the nuggets, but they're not bad. As plus you get 4 dips with them. But we are doing the bakery, yes, which I just realised about the bread thing when we did it, and I don't know. I'd forgot. I knew this was one I really loved. And I knew it was one of the best of this era, B-side wise. But then upon listening to it for the past week, I fell in love with it all over again, much like the experience I had with Riot Van and Only Ones Who Know in the melodic sections because we don't have a big melodic sections yet, have we? of the band. We don't even really have that many melodic sections on the next album, or do we really? It's not until
No.
Suck It and See and Choice Ones after that. I guess Suck It and See is the one with the most melodic sections on it, but it's like reverse. Suddenly the fast, snappy ones are cut down on Suck It and See, and the rest is snappy, melodic. But yeah, and I just forgot how much of a tune it is, and obviously we'll get into the music and stuff, but I just forgot what a beautiful sound it has. Even from like a production point of view and stuff, it just sounds different to me than other stuff we've heard from them so far. I can't wait to talk about it. It's beautiful.
Very, very much a precursor to Cornerstone, as I think you alluded to in your look forward last week.
Oh yeah, we'll be digging into that in more ways than one. Is it a precursor to Cornerstone? Like in many ways, very much so. It's very much not that we've said before about like the little sister of songs, like Fake Tales being the little sister Teddy Brooks, but this falls very firmly into the little sister category. It's not your half sister; it's your full sister. It's like a lot of aspects of the song fall into that, but it also a lot of as we'll get to it. But I can hear a lot of Suck It and See in this song as well. This feels like the precursor to a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I can go right along with that. It's nice.
I'm glad you just pulled your hair to the side. I don't know if I could have taken you seriously when you had it down like that. Then.
I mean, can you ever take me seriously? Really, it's.
And you look like Beaker from the Muppets. You know that.
Shockingly, that's not the first time.
By the way, so.
Yeah, he's no Oscar the Grouch, though, is he?
Well, he's Sesame Street, so.
It's all the same. They all know each other. They're all mates.
If we're not going to differentiate, I don't know who you are anymore. To be quite honest.
Do you know I have got the same shadow as Kermit the Frog? You know, when it's like sunny and there's a shadow, my shadow is the same as Kermit, just like this kind of short torso and long legs. That was his brother Robin. Look set to take over the empire for a while.
Didn't happen in the end. He was rubbish. He was rubbish.
I'll tell you what's not rubbish though. This pod. And if you also agree that this pod isn't rubbish, or even if you do think it's rubbish, get in touch. Go in the episode description, find all our links. You can follow us and get in touch on various platforms. We are very talkative across all the platforms. I think people get in touch and message us, and you do. You have a good chat with them, and you can also email us at arcticmonkeyspodcast@gmail.com.
Never have we been contacted more than my passing comment about what I don't passing comment. I stand by the comment about what I imagined as like arms draped around the neck or my opposing interpretation. And I'm very much happy to discuss it with people. I enjoy having those debates, but it's not even really a debate there. Sometimes I just put out opposing, might mean this things just for the debate, just hell of it, because we don't know, do we? Ultimately, so none of us are.
Be honest with you, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I just record it, and then the minute I press the end recording button, it's all gone out my head.
Oh no, I like the. I mean, I've been having these conversations with people that didn't want to have these conversations with me for 20 years. So now that I've reconnected with you and we're doing this pod, and I can engage other Arctic Monkeys fans, then great. They want to have these conversations. I'm not just annoying people in the corner at parties going, "I think this lyric means this," and they're going, "I just want to get a drink." You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
I don't mind it. I like the debate, but but sometimes I think it's all open to interpretation, isn't it? So I never stand by any of it, unless obviously it's from the first album, and then I don't think we could disagree on much there. Or some of this album, really. I mean, we're getting it. I mean, if we're arguing about, debating about one little bit of 505, then I can only imagine the debates we're going to have once we slink out of this era and into the future.
We might have to get a third person in to mediate. Well, I'll mediate, and you.
Well, not me and you. I mean the listeners. The listeners. I think.
I know. That's what I mean.
Maybe.
We'll get one of the listeners in. It saves them having to email us. They can just argue with you on the show. Well, they don't argue. They're very nice in the messages. It's lovely.
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. They're not arguing. It's a healthy debate, and I love it. I thrive on it. As long as that guy, that tosser that time that got nasty and we had to block him. Obviously.
You had to block him. I was dying of a hangover.
Yeah. I had to block him, and then because he got a bit mean. And then
no need for that.
We put pay to him, didn't we? We didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Just in case another one.
Not for trying.
A minute ago, when you said this is good or whatever you said, I thought that was a link into Play in the Bakery. You really knocked me back when you said
it was about
the
to
pod
be
at the end of it.
It was going to be. That was going to be my next bit, but should I just play the bakery now? Should we just
Just play it. Just play
let's
it.
have this slowed momentum, this arrested
I'm interested to see
development, if
if
you
we have a
will.
live
There's always
version.
money in the bakery.
I'm there is. I'm interested to hear if if it's a live version you got of this.
It's not, mate. It's not.
Oh, is it not?
There's-
I was
there's
hoping
just
you'd have found one.
There's just
in-
acoustic versions out there, but we
No.
like to showcase the full song at the start.
Yeah. Well, I'll play out an acoustic version at the end of the podcast for everyone.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. But for now, have the full fat version. You can have the diet bread. Just play it.
I wish you would have smiled in the bakery. I sat on a tatty settee at some mutual friends gathering, and the more you keep on looking, the more it's hard to take. Love, we're in stalemate. So never meet is surely where we're bound. There's one in every town, just there to grind you down. I wish I would have seen you in the post office. Well, maybe I did and I missed it. Too busy with the mind on clever lines. Why not the rounders pitch or the canteen? You're slacking, love, where have you been? Just had to go and wait until tonight.
Beautiful.
That is a lovely little tune, isn't it? I love it. I could listen to it all day. Oh, I have been. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about offering me a bit of information, Dan?
I would love to. Like a fresh loaf of bread.
And as a little
I'm gonna have to
tribute,
do about bread again.
Oh, sorry, mate. What I'll do, I'll provide you with the 7-second long jingle for the feature we like to call the information action ratio, and hopefully that'll stop you thinking about delicious bread.
The information action ratio, ain't that the place to go?
Yeast. The bakery is 2
Excuse.
minutes. The bakery is 2 minutes and 56 seconds long, and it has 26.5 million streams on Spotify. So, quite high for the B-sides. Probably, I think, maybe the highest. And it was co-written by the man, the myth, the sex pest, Mr. Miles Kane. It is 120 beats per minute and is in the key of B minor.
Wrong key, though.
I think we've killed our chances of ever getting Miles Kane on here.
Well,
Well, I think you have.
a couple more rough albums and he'll be on air like a rash. Other key tracks, I wish that was the last of the Miles chat for today. Other key tracks in B minor are the Arctic Monkeys touring partners, who I imagine spend their evenings in a Clockwork Orange type frenzy. It's the Hives with I Hate to Say I Told You So. And one of the most pretentious, cringe-inducing frontmen ever. No, sit down, Matt Goss, Chris Martin, Axl Rose, Chad Kruger, Fred Durst, Jared Leto, Adam Levine, Matt Healy, and Bono. And stand up, Gavin Rossdale, as it's Bush with Come Down. And it's Michael Jackson again with Just Good Friends, which coincidentally is what he told the detectives at his home. We were just good friends. I know we did Michael last week, but with a song title like that, how could I resist when I saw
We
that?
did Michael twice last week. as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, in another podcast we were recording. Yeah, so I've been editing about him all day in that said podcast. So, yeah. It's Michael. He's back, baby. He's back from the dead. Lock up your kids.
God.
This song has been played live 6 times by the band. Now, Nick, could you tell me what all these 6 times have in common?
They're all acoustic sets for radio stations.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're all acoustic sets, but they were all on radio stations. So there you go, all on radio stations. So it
I'm pretty
was
sure they are all acoustic sets, I think.
May 7th, 2007 at the Current Studio in St. Paul, Minnesota. May 11th, 2007 at 102.1 The Edge, Toronto. May 13th, 2007 on WFNX 101.7 Boston, Massachusetts. June 23rd, 2007 at BBC One Radio Studios, London, which is probably the one that will play out at the end of this.
Probably.
And August 5th, 2007 at the Current Studio, St. Paul, Minnesota. They went back and did it again. And CD 101, so maybe one of them wasn't acoustic. CD 101, Big Room, Columbus, Ohio, September 11th, 2007. So there you go. They mainly did it in America, did it once over on radio shows. So there you go. I did find this article on my research, Nick, popped up, and it's not related to this track per se, but it was such a juicy title from our friends at Far Out Magazine that I couldn't help but resist bring it up on the pod. Okay, so the title of this article is, and brace yourself for this, Curtains Closed. What happened to the discarded Arctic Monkeys song? One of the most vexing aspects concerning Arctic Monkeys is that many of their best songs are absent from their official albums. Devotees, fueled by an unwavering ardor for the band, hold these B-sides in such high esteem that dedicated playlists to only those songs began to emerge online, and it's easy to see why. A deep dive into Arctic Monkeys' discography will reveal a vast number of hidden gems. It's hard to deny the foot-tapping appeal of Stop the World, I Want to Get Off With You, or the introspective beauty of The Bakery. However, amid the plethora of undiscovered soundscapes, Curtains Closed occupies a niche known to even fewer fans, to the extent that its mere mention will often elicit quizzical, raised eyebrows. Okay. In true adolescent Arctic Monkeys fashion, the song details a seemingly frustrating relationship as lead singer Alex Turner sings about a girl he's angry with before concluding, I must be mad. At first glance, though, deciphering the precise subject of his discourse becomes somewhat challenging. The song lacks the lyrical fluency that graced the early creations of Arctic Monkeys, as Turner croons, I don't care about your massage oils, it's got my skin going red because I'm a mad motherfucker with my curtains open sitting tucked up in bed. Fans still enjoy the song, though, with some even liking it to a mix between Mardy Bum and Black Treacle. Either way, it's a stark reminder of the mastery the band already had during their favourite worst nightmare era. It's proving to many why the song didn't make it onto the album. So so we're going to stop that there, because it sounds like this person who claims to know Arctic Monkeys enough to write an article about Curtains Closed seems to think that this was some kind of B-side that fell in between the first album and Favourite Worst Nightmare and should have been on Favourite Worst Nightmare. So,
To be honest, I'm annoyed.
Don't like that. In truth, Curtains Closed could have easily and seamlessly replaced some of the song's weaker tracks like The Badfinger or even Balaclava. It could have if it didn't come out about fucking 4 years before that album was reduced, when they were like 17. And no, I'd still have The Badfinger over Curtains Closed, I think, on that album. The Curtains Closed would make no sense on Favourite Worst Nightmare. No sense whatsoever. I think I'd probably rather listen to Curtains Closed. No, not even then. No, makes perfect sense on the album that it is on. To be quite honest, just not acknowledging that Beneath the Boardwalk was like an album technically, like, you know, self-produced.
Yeah, that's really upset me. To be honest.
Yeah. In hindsight, knowing which direction the band was taking, it's perhaps no surprise that they opted to discard Curtains Closed. The song has the familiar, ahead of its time appeal, but lacked the accomplished feel of its superseding record. Still, however, it is an impressive feat from the band, were very much shiny and new at the time, playing together in a garage with nothing but a desire to be stroked. This person's all over the place with this article, because they're referencing that it could have been on Favourite Worst Nightmare over The Bad Thing, yet they're also referencing that they know it was in the early days when they were playing in a garage. I don't even know if they ever played in the garage, their practice rooms and stuff, didn't they? But so I don't know, no continuity to that article really blew my mind. I thought at first, oh great, this is going to be a really big fan that knows their stuff, because why else would they be doing an article on such an obscure track, and it might be interesting to hear what they have to say on Curtains Closed. Alas,
The annoying
no.
thing is, there's a very
Real
valid
disappointment.
point. There's a very valid point about songs that maybe could have made it onto albums that were relegated to B-sides, but they've just not put that point across in the slightest. They've just used all the wrong examples, and
Yeah.
Forgotten Arctic Monkeys songs. Curtains Closed is not in that list for me.
No, it's not a
it's
forgotten
not.
song, is it? It's an early demo that if you didn't know it, and like perhaps people who came to the podcast from overseas that didn't know the B-sides, the demos, or even people on these shows, when we covered them in that Beneath the Bulwark episode, probably were like, "Oh, this is interesting." But it's not a forgotten track. It's just an interesting early song to go. Much the same when someone will play you like Snow Patrol before they were famous, and they're very much like a sort of punk band. It's just interesting. It's not a forgotten song. It's just interesting, mildly interesting.
yeah.
And I probably would. I'll be honest. If someone said, "Do you want to listen to Crack on Curtains Closed or Crack on the Bad Thing?" I'd probably Crack on Curtains Closed. But do I think it should be on the album instead of the Bad Thing? No. Two different arguments, really, which we've discussed at length in this podcast about which tracks would and wouldn't fall under that bracket, and we can discuss that tonight as well.
If someone said to me, "Oh, should we go and get a McDonald's, or should we go out for like lobster?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I love a McDonald's." But if it was at a wedding, well, I wouldn't want the lobster because I don't eat seafood. But you get my point. There's a time and a place.
I don't know if I do. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, true.
And the time and place, and on the album for Curtains Closed is not either.
Yeah, what you wouldn't have, even though you love McDonald's, you wouldn't have it as the wedding meal that you would serve people, basically.
I would at my wedding, but if it was
Would
my
you?
mate just got engaged, and
You wouldn't
if he
at
was
your
like,
wedding, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
It's tacky,
No.
innit? I love
No,
McDonald's.
I'd get a street food van doing smash burgers.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You'd be
choose it. I just let the women. I'll be back on bread by the time you get married. Christ, it's not that long.
I think by the time I get married, you'd just be taking a pill instead of eating.
I am making special allowances. Like my birthday's coming up. There's no way I'm not having bread like on my birthday if I go for a meal. Do you know what I mean? I'm not giving up like garlic bread and shit and burger and that. So it's allowance for special occasions in nice restaurants, but ultimately like week to week, not having bread. And it'll make it even more tastier when it does come.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll report on the hell whether that, because this is like how I started drinking 2 liters of water a day a few months ago, expecting to feel young, fit, and healthy, and I feel none of those things. But as we said, probably was counteracted by the obscene drinking, etc. every weekend. But I did find a better article, perhaps not, on littledoseofindie.com, titled 10 of the most underrated Arctic Monkeys songs. Now they had the Bakery at number 10, and they said featured on the Fluorescent Adolescent EP with sweet riffs that echo the sharp notes of its more popular cousin, it's guaranteed to leave you feeling warm and toasty. I like that comparison because although it is a little sister of the Cornerstone, it is very much a cousin of Fluorescent Adolescent, as we'll talk about in the music. But do you want a little bonus round jingle? You foresee it? You foresaw it?
That sound means it's the end of the round. Time for the bonus question.
Number 9 on this list of underrated Arctic Monkeys tunes. So remember, it's not even B-sides this, so they may not all be B-sides. Is a song from the Humbug era. Need me to narrow it down more?
Yes.
B-side.
Please. Yeah, I was going to say, you say, as soon as you said Humbug era, I was like, what's a B-side then? Catapult.
No. I'll give you 2 or 3 guesses per track.
Two, I think. Keep me honest.
So you've used 1. We'll have that one as because you didn't know. So you get 2 now. 2 starting now.
Have they said Sketchhead?
I mean, I'm not saying that any of these aren't further down in the list, so they'll all stay open, but I'm just going number 9 at this point. So no, this one isn't Sketchhead.
Frightline Dining Room.
No. This one is Don't Forget Whose Legs You're On.
Okay.
Fuzzy guitar, subtle piano, and a vibe that almost likens to One Point Perspective. Interesting concept, perhaps something we'll pick up on in the future. Mm-hmm. The My Propeller B-side sounds somewhat before its time. Perhaps the early beginnings of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. See, this is someone that's writing an article about Arctic Monkeys that knows the stuff, because I'm going, oh, you know what, actually, maybe they've got something there with the sound of that. Maybe it is a little bit vibing that time. So yeah. So the number 8 is an album track. That's all you're getting. No, it's an album track from whatever people say I'm. That's what I'm not.
Vampires.
I think you should only get one on the album tracks. I think that's fair,
Yeah, it's
isn't
fair
it?
enough.
No, it wasn't Vampires. It was Riot Van.
That was going to be my next guess.
There's only so many songs per album that it could be really that someone would put as that, unless they go wildly off, veer off track. But featuring on the band's debut album, Riot Van is very much a fan favorite. Yet it's often overlooked. I agree, as I had it on number 2 in my favorite songs from last year. With chimes of underage drinking and general mischief, the sugar-coated melody intertwines seamlessly with Turner's voice, creating a tune that very much deserves more recognition. Okay, so number 7 is an album track again, so think carefully, on Suck It and See. And it's not the one that you're thinking of.
I don't know what one I'm thinking of. That's a problem.
It's the most underrated track.
That's where you're wrong.
No. Pile Driver Waltz. They've gone for.
Why am I always? All these. I'm getting 2 in my head. It's always the other one.
Well, to be fair, like I thought you might jump to Brick by Brick with it being the underrated song, but Suck It and See is one of the Arctic Monkeys' most underrated albums. Correct. I like this person. With tracks such as Black Treacle, Reckless Serenade, and Don't Sit Down Because I Move Your Chair, it's lyrically and musically one of Turner's best products. Pile Driver Waltz is on the soundtrack to the film Submarine, and conjuring images of Americana-style indie romance movies, it's easy to see why it was featured. Now, my only slight issue with this, and I could be off the mark, but is Pile Driver Waltz an underrated song? Maybe looking at the whole discography, people rarely go that, but for me, I don't think the fans. It's not an underrated song with the fans, is it? Pile Driver Waltz, or is it? If they cracked out a gig, would there be a cheer? Do you think, or?
From me, would you?
From the general reader, though.
Do you think maybe there's an element of because it's underrated by the band because it came out? It came back a bit in the AM era. I think they played it early in the AM tour. They've placed a video to each track to accompany it here, and the video is a acoustic Alex playing Pile Driver Waltz in what very much looks like the AM era. Could be the Suck It and See era though, because there was a crossover there. But the hair would suggest it was AM because I don't think the hair changed until after Are You Mine came out around that time, did it? That's where he showcased sort of that look more so, wasn't it? Around that time, so that was a year after. So I would suspect that this video is from the AM era, and he's in America. It's an American radio station, Fox Rocks. Fox, sell out, Fox. Like I wouldn't be all over it if they offered me money. But yeah, so maybe it is underrated technically, yeah. So the next one, 6, is a B-side from the first album era. Bigger Boys and Slow Sweethearts.
No, it's a B-side, so you get another bite of the cherry. Bite of the cherry, bite of the cherry, bite of the apple, bite of the cherry, bite of the...
Oh, see, 7.
Despair in the Departure Lounge, your favourite.
Oh, yeah. I was too busy thinking of the actual singles rather than the...
Too busy with the mind on clever lines, clearly. Reminiscent.
We should do a jingle with that in.
We should do, really. Oh, yeah, we have got a podcast first.
We've got that moment.
Yeah.
We'll tell them when we get to it.
They already know now. Reminiscent of their early influences, The Strokes. Interesting take. Despair in the Departure Lounge comes from the band's first EP. The gentle riffs and relatable lyrics echoing of loneliness illustrate just why Arctic Monkeys were popular from the offset of their career. Do you remember there was that thing that Albert Hammond Jr. liked listening to this walking around Park in New York when we did the episode? But I would reminiscent of this one, reminiscent of The Strokes.
It does not sound anything like The Strokes.
Of all the Arctic Monkeys songs from the first album that you could pinpoint sound like The Strokes, that wouldn't be one of them. Not any Strokes songs I can think of anyway, even the slowest one, which is my favorite.
Van sounds more like the fucking Strokes than that.
I mean, my favorite slow one, the name of the Strokes songs I was escaping for some reason, but my favorite one is quite slow and it sounds nothing like the Despair in the Departure Lounge. So number 5, we have another first album B-side.
Do I just go for the same ones again?
It's up to you, mate. Yeah, I think you should only get one
Who the
because
fuck
you've
are
already.
Arctic Monkeys?
No, I'll give you another go.
No buses.
No, Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts. You should have stuck to. You should have stuck to your guns. You committed marketing suicide. Featuring as a B-side to I Bet You Look on the Dance Floor, the song once again showcases how Turner had exceptional lyrical ability from a young age. Correct. Telling tales of lost lovers and heartbreak. More on that later. Bigger Boys and Stolen. Well, not really. Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts. Oh, I'm better off without her anyway. I said I wasn't sad to see her go. Yeah, but I'm only pretending, you know. I'd love to have heard like a kind of someone doing that cover of that, like a club singer doing that. Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts. I
Maybe
better
it'll
off
come back.
without her anyway. I said I wasn't sad to see her go. Yeah, but I'm only pretending, you know. Bit Frank Sidebottom, you know, doing a cover of that. Frank Sidebottom does Arctic Monkeys.
I was just going to say that sounded very side bottom. Shame he's dead, isn't it?
Well, in 2011, when I moved into a flat, we had no internet connection for 2 weeks, and the only thing we could pick up on Freeview was Channel M. And the only thing that was on Channel M past 9 o'clock was Frank Sidebottom doing this weird overnight thing, like like when they switched to and we watched that high every night and absolutely in amazement. Like I'm still fascinated by him.
I was doing the same thing at that time. I was doing exactly that at that time. Yeah.
Shame we couldn't do it together. Shame we weren't doing it together. You came to that flat as well.
We'd have never got up off our asses and done this 10 years later. If that had
maybe we needed that that period of time to be able to come back and do this, or we would have just still been watching Frank Sidebottom on the couch. I have got a DVD of a show though. We should watch that high sometime around there. That would be fun.
Please,
got his TV
urgently.
show with it's got Mrs. Merton on it. It's great. So 4 is a B-side from the Suck It and See era.
Evil Twin.
Correct. Way you got one. There you go. A Suck It and See B-side that could have easily made the album cut. Evil Twin even has an official video. Don't know about it being on the album, but it is a very good B-side. With loud riffs and powerful vocals, the song could be used as a perfect transition between the band's 4th and 5th studio albums. Interesting take there. Number 3 is a Humbug album track, so you only get one bite at this.
Ocean Approaching.
No. Secret Door. Witnessing, which is true, that is a very underrated song that never gets mentioned.
It really is.
Witnessing a change in sound from fast-paced indie anthems to something of a slower stride, Humbug is another vastly underrated Arctic Monkeys album. The swaying melody of Secret Door drifts seamlessly between quick verses and leisurely choruses, yet never seems to get the recognition it deserves. I agree, and more to discuss on that soon. Well, next year. So number 2 on this list of underrated Arctic Monkeys songs is a B-side from the AM era.
Stop the World. I want to get off for you.
No.
We'll just rule out 2013. We'll take that off the table.
Well, it is 2013. No, I'm joking. It's not.
Electricity.
No, because that's from the Suck It and See era. Ooh, you took a shit with your clothes on there.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I know my Suck It and See B-sides, mate.
I can't think of any other AM.
Electricity is one of my big Arctic Monkeys B-side tunes because it feels that's very much Arctic Monkeys doing Queens of the Stone Age for me.
I'm genuinely drawing a blank on any other AM B-sides now.
Okay. You're So Dark was the answer. A B-side to
the
one
song I got obsessed with about 6 months ago. Great.
A B-side to One for the Road with flawlessly good backing vocals and an irresistible melody, correct? You could even argue it's better than its counterpart. Contender for my favourite B-side ever, that, I'll be honest. It's a big contender, and maybe one day we'll get there. But number 1 in this list is another...
Just going to slightly little side.
Was I wrong?
It's the
Are You Mine one. Yeah, I class that as the Suck It and See era, to be honest.
What, despite the fact that it's on AM?
Yeah, because it feels of that time because they were so
you've
tall
taken
and
a
stuff.
Your clothes on as well. Get on with it. Go on.
No, it is. For me, honestly, that maybe it's personal, but for me, that Are You Mine release is very much part of the Suck It and See era because it wasn't a single from AM, was it? Technically, you couldn't say that because it came out came out about. It's closer to the Suck It and See release than it is to the M release, correct?
But they have said it informed their sound going forwards towards AM. But it's a personal opinion. I'm sure people
Yeah.
will get in touch.
Well, it's technically
gmail.com.
technically it's neither. We're both wrong.
But yeah. I mean, that's the best
it's
way
not
of saying it,
it's
yeah,
not an A and B side, so you were wrong, and it's not the Suck It and See B side. It was just a B side.
So you were wrong as well.
Yeah, but for the point of
So
this,
we
I had to
That's
give
all
you
I
a.
wanted to hear, Dan. That's all I wanted to hear. Crack on.
But how would I have described it to you for a clue? I just said it's a B side. You would have gone which era, and I'd go it's a B side.
It's not all about the clues, mate. As I said to Poirot.
It is kind of. Right. So this next one then. No clues for this one then. Next one. Right. Not all about the clues, is it? So this is a B side from the AM era again, and you only get one shot of it.
Oh, is it Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts? Because
No, it's Stop the World. I want to get off with you. With intricate
fucking
guitar
hell.
riffs, faultless harmonies, and a heavy bass line that could liken to that of Do I Want to Know? I have to take your first answer, I'm afraid. It's almost criminal that this song didn't make it onto AM. One of the band's best songs, yet by far the most underrated of them all. Don't think it should be on AM, though.
Well, you didn't have to take my first answer because B-sides get 2 guesses. So
No,
I was
no,
doing
but
a frivolous joke.
Before you spoke, I said you only get one go at this because you've already done this era.
Oh, sorry.
And there's only
Sorry.
like two. There's only about 2 B sides as it is in this era. So
I was just too busy enjoying that moment where we were both wrong, where the podcast just died. Really.
I mean, I'm saying that just to move things along. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
Shall
so we
we
should, yeah.
listen to the reviews?
Let's do that. Not the reviews of this episode, thankfully.
Off the Bandwagon said, the bakery is striking in that it bears little resemblance to the unrelenting, unapologetic, and high-energy vibe of the album to which it is linked. Tinged with melancholy, it is thoughtful and a little mournful, laced with regret. There is something almost archaic and slightly quaint about it too. Set in a small town, we are taken on a wander down across the Rounders pitch to the post office and the arcade as we sip innocently on our lemonade. To this end, it is an effective foreshadowing of what is to come in the band's next album, Humbug. Cornerstone smacks of the same location-based moping that the bakery so charmingly epitomizes. Both songs are also united in the typically Turner-esque twist that occurs at the end, forever keeping us on our toes. He really wasn't lying when he wrote, "Too busy with the mind on clever lines." Enemy's Greatest List put this at 72, saying, shrouded in an atmosphere of self-loathing and dim romance, this is where Turner's vocals soar over a melancholic guitar pop tune. Lyrically, the temptations of life on the road are brushed off with an insouciant scrug, and the instrumental sounds purposefully lackadaisical as if to harbour the point. Great word, insouciant. This one caught my eye, right? This isn't a review of the bakery. This is a review of the First Adolescent single release. Stuart Leach wrote on Penny Black Music, the last thing I wanted to do was to give the Arctic Monkeys a good review, as it's not like they need it. Being someone who never really being someone who never really hoped on that particular bandwagon, I think he meant to put hopped, the cunt, but he's written hoped. I never really thought I was missing something. When their second album was received well by the press, but seemingly less so by fans, don't think that happened, did it? That it was critically acclaimed, but the fans rejected it? Don't think so. I was hopeful their ship would sink, but not anytime soon, it seems, and this kind of single is the reason why. First Adolescent is a pure piece of indie pop heaven, intricate guitar drum intro, and a melody Lennon and McCartney would be proud of, not to mention the lyrics. I think even the most successful writing combo ever would have struggled to rhyme with Tabasco. As much as I hate to love this song, I can't help it. It's got a special sort of hold over me. So Stuart Leach hates the Arctic Monkeys, but was won over by First Adolescent. So there you go.
You know, Stuart Leach is having a terrible time of it nowadays.
Probably Leach by name, Leach by nature, I imagine. Very much so.
Yeah,
So I love the sound of the guitar on this song for that lead. Absolutely gorgeous.
Classic Cookie
guitar.
Monster.
Oh, it's sensational. Well, it's so crisp. And is it the Cookie Monster doing it? That's the question. We don't really know, do we?
No, but I just always pictured it as Alex playing the rhythm and Jamie doing
We
the
have been
lead,
wrong
but
before,
we
though. But
don't.
I would assume you would assume so. You would assume so. But sometimes Alex does do the lead on songs like this. So, but obviously with it being at Cornerstone S, let's assume it's Jamie. But it's so crisp, beautiful, perfectly clean sound to it as well. Like bit only ones who know as well. This one with the way it kind of does that sound. Now, one thing that did stand out to me this listen that I never used to really think about before back in the day, Helder's drumming in this song is so like very suck it and see. They remind me of the whole Pixies-esque drumming, that kind of guitar pop melodic sound to tunes where the drums just have that. I don't know. They have this from a production point of view as well. Just this like absolutely perfectly crisp sound to the drums, and they're just the way he plays with the melodies of the drums. It's amazing for me. It reminds me of the Smiths, of Pixies, people like that. That kind of sound. All the good stuff. It actually reminds me a little bit of Dance Little Lie, the drums in this, because they're doing that like.
I also popped that down on my notes because I thought, straight up,
Dance Little Lie.
I've listened to a bit of Humbug, and very much so.
Well, as he said on the sometimes when there's drums that they don't use, or that like there'll be bits that they don't use, he stores them away in a catalog and repurposes them for other songs if he likes the interesting beats. So maybe he thought that these drums didn't get the due in this B-side, so he wanted to pull out a revamped version, perhaps for Dance Little Lie. Who knows?
I like that.
Yeah. Apparently the band are always dipping into his catalog. They're always saying to him, "Oh, have you not got something like this from another song for this?" And he's always pulling out these little drums moments. But it really is like guitar pop melodic heaven, the drumming in this. Perfect for me. And I never thought that back in the day, and it wasn't on my radar really to think about that back then, but it struck me immediately this time. Nice bass line as well in the verses, this one.
Lovely. It's lush.
But
he's got that groovy. It's something we've not really, for all the plaudits we've given Nick in the course of this era. This is something we said about Andy and we haven't said about Nick, but it's a very groovy Stone Roses type of thing.
Stone Roses as well with the drumming and the bass. Yep, again, very
Yes.
very that style. Yeah, another good combination of Elders and Nick as well, because the drums are kind of doing like the dum 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 dum,
Which is very Stone Roses.
Yeah, and the bass is doing a very, but it's the same way that I see the drums and the bass in Suck It and See, like the drums to something like Suck It and See, or That's Where You're Wrong, or Love Is a Laser Quest, or something like that. They're all very like, the drums and bass are all like this song as well in sound, and also with that Pixies, Smiths, Stone Roses vibe to them as well, that album. Again, I do think Suck It and See as an album should be reassessed as a great album, as a great lost album for me. And we'll talk about that when we get to it, but this song as well falls into that category. This is a good example. If it is Jamie, this is an excellent example of the Jamie Cook.
Yeah.
Special.
That's what leaves me convinced that it is him, because it's just got all the hallmarks of his playing.
It probably is, because it does have that like after the second verse, I think it is. It goes in. Oh, sorry, in the second verse, it goes into that Flash Adolescent Carnival Fair-esque sound again with the guitar. I love how it mirrors the singing pattern as well. It's like doing that. He's doing what Alex is singing along to it, or vice versa. But I really like that. There's a bit after the second chorus where it, like the guitar kind of like if it goes out into like a third verse, but the third verse is just bass and drums, just drops the bass and drums, and the way the guitar kind of goes out of that sequence, it kind of like bleeds out, like you can feel it in the edge of your, particularly when you go listen to an instrumental version, it kind of you can
hangs
feel
in
it on
there,
the
but-
edge of your headphones, like sort of bleeding out of the yeah, beautiful. Excellent production values on this from Mr. Ford and Mr. Crossy. I think this is one of the best work they did on this album. Yeah, some of the best work on this track, really. I think. Do you think this? Oh, maybe we'll talk about. We'll do a little hot take and talk about this, perhaps where it sits, perhaps. But yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, weirdly, the guitar. And then the guitar at the end of the song, particularly, like it feels like it should be being played in a stadium. It just has that feel, even though it's a very melodic tune. It's just like feels like it should be part of that, like a big stadium gig. Like it should be a big sound of a big crowd. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got that. What it reminds me of, and it's something that's going to come up when we get on to Suck It and See in particular. It's that the Phil Spector thing, the wall of sound.
Mm.
It's very much hallmarks of that for me, and it's the same with Suck It and See, which we'll get to, obviously.
Do you know what feel I get from the guitar as well? All the Young Dudes. Something about that sound of that lead guitar gives me a bit of an All
Which
the
is
Young Dudes.
not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing at all. Bowie version. I mean, I think they're quite. I'm thinking of the Bowie version, not the Mott the Hoople version. But I think the guitar.
I love that about Bowie. I love that Bowie was just writing so many hits. He was just like, "Yeah, you can have this one. It's one of the best songs I'll ever write," and I don't really want.
But I'm going to do it myself as well. Better. Yeah. He's just churning out songs. He's on that much coke. There's so many songs going out of him. But yeah, I do love the very end though. It's perfect. But yeah, the song beautiful, simple, but completely effective. Like it's just got that. It's not overcomplicated, but it's got like a youthful vibe to it as well. Very useful, like lyrically, obviously as well. But the sound's youthful, which is why I think it works perfectly well on the Fluorescent Adolescent single. Because if you listen to Fluorescent Adolescent and then you listen to this, it does feel like of a piece on this one, which can't maybe be said for. Maybe a bit with the next one.
This could not have been a Teddy Picker B-side. It would
No,
have
it wouldn't
been
feel
weird.
right, would it? No, or a Brainstorm one either.
Oh yeah. Let's just nip that in the bud straight away. That made me feel a bit queasy, to be honest.
So the Cornerstone comparison. Where do you say? I think the things for me that make me think of it being a young Cornerstone are musically
It's the same as me. Yes,
probably.
musically.
I mean, musically, the Jamie Cook special, because I think you said, and I agreed that Cornerstone is the epitome of the Jamie Cook special. That's where it reaches its full Jamie Cook special peak. But this would be on that journey as well. As that is getting there, because there aren't many more Jamie Cook specials until Cornerstone now, are there really? Because Humbug has a very different kind of Jamie Cook special, but this particular one this may be the last. Maybe too much to ask, but this may be one of the last ones we get. So yeah, Cornerstone, it feels with a piece. But other than that, any other musical things that remind you of Cornerstone? Maybe the drums a bit, maybe.
But I mean, the key one, I think it's a very similar lyrical theme. He's listing all the places he wish he could see the
Oh yeah,
girl.
lyrically, yeah.
The first one that jumps out, but then for it to have these musical similarities as well. I think even the
Bass. little
the
bit.
bass and kind of how hard Helders is hitting the drums. It's a very similar type of drumming, which really shuts up the whole concept of with the new stuff. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Helders must be so bored. Got one of the best drummers in the world," and it was always this is a good drummer. Like being able
Yeah.
to mix it up and knowing what fits and not just going mental.
Helders is a very good melodic drummer. And melodic drumming is important in tunes like this. That's why, if the Stone Roses and the Smiths and the Pixies didn't have good melodic drummers, the songs would fall really flat. Because the melodic drummer, like if you think about this song, or you think about like a Smith song, that they have this kind of dour lyrical content, but the music lifts it into upbeat kind of territory. When we take without the drums, without being able to do kind of drums to melodic tunes, they just wouldn't work. Like there'd be no enjoyment in them if the drums weren't right. So the drums are like really important in songs like this, I think. And Helders does really inventive things with drums. A lot of drummers would have just done a kind of simple beat probably to a track like this. But yeah, it was I think lyrically, obviously lyrically he lists things and places, and it's about. I mean, this obviously not exactly the same in what he's chasing, but so this song then it's where do you stand on what this song's about then? Because I've seen the same but slightly different.
So I sort of see it as there's a girl that is. I don't think I see it as it being someone he's already had a relationship with or anything. I see it
No,
as
yeah.
someone that is similar to Dance Floor in that it's someone that he's seen about. He's seen him around, and he'll just see her around the time, and he's just listing the places that he wishes it. When you, I think when you're in that situation where there's someone that you like from afar, and then you do notice when you stop seeing them. And I think that's the
Yeah.
point he's at now. I think he's at the point where he stopped seeing her, and he thinks she moved away for uni or something, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree because I agree with that. I don't. I could even take it one step further and say it might not even be someone he's seen around. I think because a lot of people are saying it's about a missed opportunity or the fact that you could have met this person in any other scenario around and looking for them and not finding them. But yeah, I don't actually think it's about a particular person at first anyway. But it's just that girl. It's about that girl. It's that girl that you're looking for. That you're gonna fall in love with. It's not about a particular girl that you're seeing. It's about the metaphorical girl, the girl that you could have seen in the bakery, you could have seen in the arcade, and maybe you would have met her at some point and seen her there. The girl that you're chasing that's gonna change. That's gonna change you. You're gonna meet her and fall in love. So I think it's kind of about that. But then maybe by the end he actually finds the girl, and then some of it reminds me of that one particular line in As Subscribers would know if anyone wishes to become a subscriber. My favorite TLSP song, Sweet Dreams TN, he says, "The idea that you existed all along is crazy," which I think which obviously is when you meet the right person, that's such a good observation. You think the idea that you've been around all this time is absurd, that we never met. And this song kind of half encapsulates that similar vibe, I'd say, to that observation. But yeah, I kind of see it as because the lyrics are, we don't need to go too in depth with this. I think he obviously says, "I wish you would have smiled in the bakery or sat on a tatty settee at a mutual friends gathering. And the more you keep on looking, the more it's hard to take. Love wearing stalemate to never meet is shut." Yeah, love wearing.
I love the stalemate. Which is something we're going to see in a B-side coming up, a sort of sports reference. A reference to football.
Yes, very good. Yeah, coming up very soon. B-side.
Very soon, yeah.
To never meet is surely where we're bound. There's one in every town just there to grind you down. That's what kind of makes me think it's about the metaphorical girl, the girl that at first in the song anyway, it's just about that girl that he's looking for, that he's, the idea that you could meet the right girl. There's one in every town, to grind you down. And I wish I would have seen you in the post office, or maybe I did and I missed it. Too busy. I always like that as well. That's one of my favorite ones. Well, maybe I did and I missed it. Too busy with the mind on clever lines. Bit of self reference in there. Bit of personal. One of the rare really autobiographical lines that we get from Alex with the too busy with the mind on clever lines. It's not a drug reference that I've missed, is it? That was another one, is it? You're not going to tell me that everyone's always seen this as a drug reference and I didn't get it, are you?
I
don't know
wish.
anymore.
That was a callback to like episode 5 or 6 or something.
It was one of the listeners referenced to it the other day in a message saying that they didn't know that either, so I wasn't alone. So yeah, why not see this song as well? It makes me, because this song came out during the Favourite Worst Night when he co-wrote it with Miles. Would you think there was an early old draft or something? Because the Rounders pitch is a very young reference, isn't it? There's not many
Rounders pitch in the canteen at school.
There's no other Rounders pitch, isn't it? You don't ever, as an adult, be like, "Oh, should we go down Rounders pitch?" And
baseball to the Americans.
Could be a name as I think baseball's slightly different rules, but yeah, same premise.
It's the same. It's the same pitch, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's Rounders is baseball. Yeah, just dumbed down for kids basically. No one ever here takes it seriously.
No, I don't. I can't
play it on sports day, and
that's about
it. Yeah, used to hate having to go out there, and I knew I'd miss it. I knew as soon as they threw the ball, I'd miss it, and I'd do that. No one wants the air swipe. That's the worst bit. The air swipe, the embarrassing air swipe.
That was me now. The indignity of the public air swipe.
Oh, there was one year before I left primary school when things had got a bit too kind of PC, and I mean, even then, people moan about it now, but and they didn't let us play Rounders because it was too dangerous. So we just had to it was like a parachute that everyone stood in a circle and waved. Weird. Very strange.
I just discussed this yesterday. I just discussed this today. Parachute day.
You put a ball in the middle of the parachute and you have to try and get it out of it or something like that. It was some nonsense. Anyway,
I got
let's play Rounders anymore.
I got kicked out of parachute day because I was kissing a girl underneath the parachute.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. Young Nick had it all going on. So yeah.
So you kissed a girl at what age is that?
Would have been like 11, 12.
So you kissed a girl, then you waited another 10 years to kiss a girl, and then you waited another 10 years to kiss a girl, and then so wow, you really leave the gap there. And a canteen as well is obviously a school or college reference, isn't it?
Yeah.
It could be college because so I reckon when he was at college he wrote this, or in school, and then Miles has come in, and I hope Miles didn't write those lines as an adult because it adds an unseemly tinge to his already worryingly promiscuous lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's only a matter of time before something comes out about him. I'm telling you, you can't put it about that much without slipping up a couple of times. So why not the Rounders pitch or the canteen? You're slacking, love. Where have you been? Just now, this is the bit. Just have to go and wait until tonight to give me the invite. Don't worry, it's all right. So I do think he's talking about the metaphorical girl until this point.
Yeah,
when he actually meets her.
But it's that twist again. It's that twist it does.
What's the invite though? What is it? Is this a personal reference that no one except him and the other person would get? Perhaps Alexa Chung, perhaps Joanna Bennett. Who knows? Perhaps probably someone else, the dirty bugger. Especially if Miles wrote it, it could be one of many. But yeah, it's clearly, it feels personal to me because I can't figure out another meaning to give me the invite. Don't worry, it's all right. Unless it's just asking you out on a date. I don't know, but
or
he sort of says it in the background as well. That to give me the invite.
Yeah, like reverby.
Don't worry, it's a very old school crooner. That another crooner moment from him there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I almost see it as I think of when you do see a girl around and you've made no contact with her or anything. You've not just talked to her or anything, but there's something where you'll kind of hope that she'll notice and say something to you. So that's how I kind of took that bit. Yeah, she might not even know he exists, but
probably not now. Yeah, I think
she'll notice and go, "Oh, hello, fancy a bit."
Another young reference, isn't it? The next bit as well. I wish I would have seen you down in the arcade, sipping on a lemonade in the paper cup and chewing on the straw. I mean, they're like 21 when this album came out, so or something. But in fact, was he born in 1986? So he would have been 10, 21. Yeah, 21. I was right. I was bang on. So yeah, another young. I feel like he had a draft of this when he was younger, didn't he? I feel definitely on Miles. I wonder whether it says co-written by Miles. Miles doesn't do the guitar on this one. It's the next one, obviously. But
he must have contributed some lyrics. But there's nothing I can.
I couldn't find anything on what he got. It's a bit like the John Reverend John Misty.
What?
The Reverend John McLaurin is his contribution to the other one the other week. But yeah, interesting. I just feel like there was an early draft about them there. But yeah, and then I wish I would have seen you in the bakery. An odd reference in it because if it's kind of like it's set in a village or a small town here, not like Sheffield City Centre, is it? It feels like very a twee again because it's like there's a post office, a rounder's pitch in the canteen, which again feels like a school or a college. Arcade. I mean, there is an arcade in Manchester City Centre. To be fair, you just don't want to go in there. Piccadilly Gardens. If you care about your
There's
life,
an arcade
anyway.
in a town centre. Do not go.
No.
There's one in Stockport as well. Don't go. There's two in Stockport. Don't go.
Don't go over there. Those people aren't real people. And then a bakery, like such an odd thing for. I mean, it's kind of got a kind of European vibe to me. That just Alex in his days, like like a European film. I've seen quite a few like old Europe like films of someone. Yeah, someone just wandering around the town, like going in the post office, going in the bakery, like just wandering around looking for their love. Like, yeah, it feels like there could be a little short film in this one. But yeah, the bakery. An odd thing to reference the bakery, isn't it? And then call the song that. I was just trying to say, if the bakery's got to be a metaphor for something. And all I could think of was when you meet the one you love, your heart rises like a loaf of bread. Was all I could think of.
How would you feel about the prospect of her working in the bakery department of a major supermarket?
Having worked in a major supermarket and seeing the people that work in the bakery department, I hope not for Alex's sake. That's all I'll say.
I had a snog in the bakery. Oh, it's all about Nick snogging tonight, isn't it? I had a little snog in the bakery.
Someone's had sex. Suddenly it's all coming back.
I'm not talking about that though, am I? I'm talking about snogging when I was 16 and
suddenly you're talking about women. Yeah. What at Morrison's in the bakery you had a snog?
Yeah.
With who?
Yeah, I don't even remember her name. She definitely doesn't.
Oh, can't remember her name. Nick, it's one of 10 women. Come on, name. Give us the name.
I've kissed a lot more than 10 women.
Yeah, I mean willingly though. Awake ones, alive ones.
I've kissed a lot more than 10 women.
We start putting those filters on it. Awake, alive, willingly. That list gets narrowed down like a search for porn.
I mean, if you must know, I slapped her ass with a dustpan and brush because I've been told to go and clean up outside bakery. And then I went and cleaned up in the bakery.
You're ruining this song.
This is before I met you, though, Dan. This is before you started working there. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a missed opportunity for you or anything.
I never fooled around with anyone on the shop floor. I don't think.
No, I didn't after that. I got caught.
I used the bakery for making bread and donuts because that's what it was there for. He got the bakery assistant pregnant and he never sees the kid. Jack Anakanori. Oh no, it's back of the net.
She had a square head.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew she wouldn't be attractive. I took that as red. I took that as bread. Right.
I've got with some very sensual and attractive women in my time. Not many of them, but there've been some.
I can think of one that I know of.
There've been others.
There's been others. There's dozens of us. Dozens.
Convince myself.
But yeah, no, I really love this tune. I think it's got a really sweet vibe to it because Cornerstone's a bit dark, isn't it? Cornerstone's not that sweet, really. It's a nice ending, but it's a bit dark. Also, how do you feel about that last line? You probably wouldn't have seen me. That's a classic Alex end that to a melodic tune.
Switch, yeah.
Because it's that you probably wouldn't have seen me is very similar to I'm a fool because I'm a fool. Be cruel to me because I'm a fool for you, and also similar to Cornerstone's last line, which is
you can call me anything you
want. So he loves to do a melodic end on these big melodic tunes. He loves to do that kind of signing off line that breaks your heart. Because every one of them does break my heart, doesn't it? Because that's such a... It's another... Remember his little insecurities we found out about? Well, quite frankly, worryingly massive insecurities that he had during this time. You probably wouldn't have seen me. I remember at the time as a young Dan at 18, 19, slightly insecure sometimes, thinking, yeah, I think that because this is the funny thing with me. As much as I have a reputation of being a bit of a dirty boy,
But
which I also underneath it all, I was a what's it called, a lovelorn. I was secretly, I was secretly desperate for true love, and this song always used to make me go, oh yeah, I bet I could see the girl there or there. I'd love a girl to sit down next to me, mutual friends gathering, and fall in love with me. But if she did, she probably wouldn't have seen me. I thought, you're right, Alex. I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean, mate.
When you're single and you're on like train or whatever, because I know you don't get the bus. So you're on like public transport.
Well, I did then. I'm a snob now, but
did you ever do the thing when a girl you like look off got on the bus and you'd like move your bag off the seat as if to say, "Come here, sit down next to me," and they never did.
No, that's another weird, creepy Nick thing.
Yeah, I did it about 6 weeks ago.
I mean, if the seat's empty, I'm not going to encourage them to sit down. I'm not encouraging them down. 6 weeks ago, Jesus, I'm not taking a bag off there till I'll do that for anyone that's got on the bus. If someone gets on the bus is full, I'll move my bag to the floor so they can sit down.
Can fuck off though, can't they?
No use for them.
Clearly not interested.
No, I didn't creepily move the things and suggest they should sit down. This explains a lot. There's a lot coming out tonight. It explains a lot. But
we've had plenty of you talking about your love life, your past love life. So
but yours is but you're talking about creepily moving bags to try and entice women to sit next down you on a bus. This is weird.
Creepily,
I was just a bit of a dirty shagger. You were. This is creepy. What do you mean not weird? Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, it's all right.
No, it's not all right in that context. It's all right for the woman to give the invite. That's why they made Bumble.
Again, Dan. And you can stand up.
And 6 weeks ago, exactly. We're talking about the past love life. I'm talking about things that happened 10 years ago when I was.
6 weeks ago is the past.
Yes, but not when I talk about my past of being a naughty boy. It wasn't 6 weeks ago, was it? It was 10 years ago. It wasn't 6 weeks ago that I was trying to entice women to sit next to me in the bus like a creep.
Well, she didn't, so it's fine.
I bet she didn't. Has it ever worked?
All's well that ends well. Yeah, it did used to. It used
to. Was it?
It used to work on the night bus home.
Oh, what? When they were drunk after the club? Well, that is a Holt method. Now you're getting into my territory there. That's a completely different person there. We're not talking about that. We're talking about sober, trying to entice normal women on the bus, not trying to introduce drunk women after a club night. That's an entirely different set of rules, Nick. See the rule book here of what you can do when you're sober and on a bus. They're there, and here's the rules that you can do when you're drunk and you try and entice a woman back to your house. You see that? Throw them out the window. The rule book's gone. There's no rule book.
Guilty. Get a new rule book.
Don't need one, thanks. Any rule applies. No rule is any rule. Anyway, you creep. Let's say you've ruined the song for me now. Now, whenever I think that nice moment, you probably wouldn't have seen me or the invite bit. I'm going to think of you trying to creepily get women sit next to you on a bus.
It was one time.
You just said it a minute ago. It was multiple times, so don't backtrack.
Yeah, but the creepy one was one time.
6 weeks ago.
The normal one, yeah. I've had a few drinks. I was on a bus and I was feeling lonely and depressed.
Oh, God, you've really bummed out this song.
You really ruined it.
Well, you probably would if I sat next to you on a bus, by the sounds of it.
I'd go upstairs.
By the way, to go back to the thing, I will go on a bus if I absolutely have to. I just avoid it like the plague. It's grim. I don't like
the plague that you'll probably catch on said bus.
Yeah, exactly. It's just depressing. I got on a bus not only a month ago when we went from the vets to Charlton. I jumped on the bus very quickly, and I have to say I hated every minute of it, just like I remembered. Other passengers did. So yeah, this song, beautiful musically, beautiful lyrically, a precursor of things to come. Very clever lyrics, very witty lyrics, very sweet lyrics. Alex showing is at this point we hadn't seen much of the side of Alex either, so. Great tune. But it's time for a very special version of our favourite lyric of this song, isn't it, Nick?
Yes, because for the first, we realised last week that this is a first because it's the first time. It's the first time that we've used a jingle from. I'm just going through the jingles now. I think the earliest is "Suck It and See" album era. But in this case, even more special. It's a double special for that reason. The jingle actually matches the song that we're currently talking about.
Yeah.
which will not be happening until, well, when we're on to Suck It and See and the Red Hot Revelation. So should we
we'll
play
be
the
having a
jingle?
look. Yeah, we shall.
And then maybe we'll put our heads together before Series 3 and come up with some more
Well,
jingles.
we do have to think of a jingle for a new segment that I'm introducing in the wrap up of this that will then be this forth every week after the wrap up, but more on that in the coming months.
Can't wait for that. Right, let's play the jingle.
Too busy with the mind on clever lines.
I guess it's probably gonna be the last one for me. I think. You probably, I would have seen you in the bakery, but you probably wouldn't have seen me. It's just a beautiful, insecure little, sweet, youthful moment for me. That I love it.
That would be mine, but I would also like to suggest the lines before it. I wish I would have seen you down in the arcade, sipping on a lemonade, paper cup, and chewing on a straw. Mainly because of the way he sings it in the acoustic version that we're going to play you out with at the end of the show.
What if it is all a drug reference? Because like chewing on a straw, the lines one. The bread could be like,
See, when you have it, there's two tenuous references, and then you're having to think about the third one. So don't
no,
think
because
it
the
is.
bread's Cockney rhyming Cockney rhyming slang for head. When you do drugs, you're off your head.
Should we do favourite musical moment?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so.
Bad sounds in your ear that make you get up and down.
I
I'm
will be
saying is-
nominating the bass, please.
All I'm saying is lemonade is street talk for heroin. Make from that what you will.
Well, no, it's street talk for cocaine in Liverpool. They call it lemo, don't they?
Is it
How-
really? I just made that up about the heroin.
No, not heroin, coke.
Oh, right, okay.
Scousers call coke lemo.
So sipping on lemonade, chewing on a straw. What do you do when you coked up? You chew.
Chewing.
Who wrote
Chewing-
it? Who co-wrote this song? Who
Makes you
co-wrote
chew
this
your
song?
chin.
Was it someone with the knowledge of Liverpudlian slang? Was it? Was there someone involved in this song with the knowledge of Liverpudlian slang, Nick?
I don't think there was. Yes, Mr. Miles, Peter Kane himself.
Now I'm starting to question what I think. So with the mind on clever lines, sipping on lemonade and chewing on a straw.
I'm still not having it. I mean, it's tenuous at best.
It is tenuous at best,
Tenuous at
but the fact it just surprised me when you said that lemo is a slang for coke in Liverpool. And Miles was involved in the song, and we were all.
lemo.
It could be, could be.
Oh, Arctics, I can't support you on tour for the car tour because I've got to go and get some lemo.
Is that a Liverpudlian accent? Because I know mine's bad, but Jesus Christ.
I have had a terrible time.
You just went into a
trying to do
chav.
accents.
I've stopped doing it. I've stopped doing
trying to
it.
do accents in the last few weeks. I've had a terrible time with accents, mate. But I've realised I can't do accents. Can't. I've learned some horrible things about me. I've learned some good things about myself last few weeks, but I've also learned some horrible things about myself, and I don't think they balance each other out really.
You also sniff coke for a straw, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not in this. Let's
He's saying
let's
she
feel that one.
wouldn't have seen him because he's a lowly drug addict, and she wouldn't have seen him because he's a cokehead. It's a song about a cokehead, really. And the bakery is reference to flour, which is the same substance. Oh, it's all adding up.
It actually is a little bit. I'm quite excited about this.
Flour is bread. All right, if you can find one more link in the next 20 seconds in this song to drugs.
The rounders pitch at my college was where we used to go and have a cheeky little bifter.
They use white lines on the rounders pitch.
Bass.
White lines.
That's such a tune.
Yeah.
Well, this song is. Did you want to just
So
give us a musical
potentially-
moment to round it off? I mean, nothing's gonna top it. I've gone for the bass, but
I'm going for the lead guitar, but shout out to, as I remembered this week from a picture that's doing the rounds that you sent me from NME magazine years ago, or A magazine. No, it was from the FT or something weird, wasn't it? It was from a weird paper. Matt the Cat Helders, as I forgot he was called because of Matthew J. Helders the third. I completely forgot. So from now on this pod, he will be Matt the Cat Helders. So all the lead guitar is my favorite part of the song, but shout out to Matt the Cat Helders and his amazing melodic drums. That sounds like a thingy musical, doesn't it? Matt the Cat Helders is an amazing melodic drums. Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. You know where we are.
God. Oh, it's been downhill now.
Wow. But yeah, possible. Get in touch if you think that perhaps the bakery being a reference to flour. Grind you down. You grind your teeth when you coked up. Another drug
And
reference.
you also grind drugs down as well, don't you?
You do. You grind. Yes, you do grind drugs down as well.
You do with marijuana.
Clever lines. Round as pitch has white lines. That one's a bit tenuous.
Yeah.
And sipping on a lemonade. Lemonade is Liverpudlian slang apparently for coke.
No.
And paper cup and chewing on the straw. Well, you sniff coke with a straw, and you also chew when you're on drugs. So
does it tune you in when you chew your chin?
Exactly, he's done it before.
It's definitely a drugs reference.
Like,
Let me just
again.
get that out there straight away.
Oh, but yeah, well, Black Treacle is, yeah. But yeah, hey, might have cracked this case wide open, Nick, with this one.
Well, cracking tune and a strong contender for my Desert Island B-sides.
Well-
And if you're wondering what we're on about with the Desert Island stuff, then subscribe. Go on the Patreon or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to
pre-show.
us and
Pre-show
done.
chat where we always talk about, most of the time we talk about music. And if we do talk about anything else, it's usually only briefly, and it's usually related to culture, isn't it, in some way?
yeah.
But I've got a little take, or more a little discussion for us to have.
She flicks a red hot revelation off the tip of her toe.
Favorite B-side
I was going to
of this era. Sorry, I should specify.
Well, after this, I was going to offer that as a hot take straight after you'd done your hot take. Yes, this, and well, it's a good couple of weeks for me because probably my two favourite B-sides of this era and contenders for two of my favourite B-sides of all
What, next
time.
week's one of your favorite B-sides?
It's-
Oh, really?
Is next week too much to ask?
No, next week is Plastic Tramp. And now you've made me say it now and ruin it for everyone.
What's that?
I was going to say, I was confused by that being your favourite one. Now, Too Much to Ask is after that. It's the last one of this single.
Yeah. Do you want to cut that bit out and do it again? Or
No, leave it in. They know what's next, don't they? I mean, it's not like we do it just as a thing at the end, but
it's not like we're spinning a wheel.
It's like when we say what song it
is.
is at the start, everyone knows what episode it is or what song it is. People know what the next song is in Arctic Monkeys discography. I'm sure I have to listen to this, so we don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, no. So, would you say this should be on the album though? Because I would say this is now my favorite B-side so far this era. But Too Much to Ask could knock it off its pedestal because I haven't listened to it for a long time.
And a big no to this being on the album. I don't think it fits.
What if it was in a different, your theory about moving the tracks around and putting it on? So you get rid of the bad thing and you put it after First Adolescent.
No, thematically and lyrically, I think this is quite childlike. It's a lot closer to the themes that we get around the first album, I think.
I agree. And although if it is a secret song about drugs, then maybe not.
Then
maybe
it
it
should
would have
be
fit on
on
perfectly. Yeah.
Agreed. Well, this just about wraps up our look at the bakery. It's been series 2. It's been episode 16. Still plenty more to come. You know where all the links are in the episode description because I've mentioned it already. But we are back same time next week, same place next week with what, Dan?
Well, you already know, but could you spare any change, mate? I'm sorry, I don't have any on me. Wait, you can't be homeless. Aren't you Miles Kane? Oh, yeah, I'm not homeless, lad. It's just for the Johnny machine in the toilets. Just met this bird in the pub, haven't I? And I'm not sure about the colour of her trap, if you catch my meaning. Oh, I've been waiting to say that to you all day.
I mean,
Ugh.
I wish you'd said that to me last week when we were having a similar discussion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ugh, you're grotesque, Miles. Well, maybe so. But what isn't grotesque is the guitar he lays down on next week's track. As Alex shares his suspicions on people posing as less fortunate, Helders goes Helders for leather, and Nick thumps his bass through your headphones. Pretend to check your pockets for change because it's the plastic tramp.
Correct. Got something to look forward to. Brilliant. Right, we'll be back next week with that. I'm just going to go and have another laugh at that, to be honest, because that was top
Thank
tier
you.
stuff. That was, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was proud of that
Yeah.
reference.
I was really worried you'd set yourself up too big there when you
I
said
knew
like
I wouldn't normally say anything if I had some, but I knew it was good that it would, even if you knew something was coming, it was gonna get you. I knew you would never have crossed your mind, so there you
go. Jokes about shagging and STDs, them as my specialties.
And using a Miles Kane, throw Miles Kane in there with a reference to one of his own songs. There you go, bing bong bosh, job done.
I find it to be a perfect combination. Right, we are going to play you out with the acoustic version of The Bakery that was played on BBC Radio. That was the only one played on a radio station that doesn't have a stupid name. So,
yes.
Well done, everyone. Say goodbye to the nice people, Dan.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I wish you would have smiled in the bakery or sat on a tatty settee. At some mutual friends gathering, and the more you keep on looking, the more it's hard to take. Love, we're in stalemate, so never meet is surely where we're bound. There's one in every town, just there to grind you down. I wish I would have seen you in the post office. Well, maybe I did and I missed it. Too busy with the mind on clever lines. Why not the rounder's pitch or the canteen? You're slacking, love, where have you been? Just had to go and wait until tonight to give me the invite. Don't worry, it's alright. I wish I would have seen you down in the arcade, sipping on a lemonade, in the paper cup and chewing on the straw. And I wish I'd seen you in the bakery, but if I'd seen you in the bakery, you probably wouldn't have seen me.
Don't Believe the Hype is hosted and produced weekly by Nick Lee and Dan Holt. The music used in the titles is royalty-free music courtesy of Les FM. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast player of choice to be notified every Wednesday when a new episode is released. And if you want to help us out further, be sure to like and review to help make us more visible to like-minded souls. We will see you next week with more of the same.